Kenny Brown and George Kaheleha. Both individuals are very much involved in the Hawaiian Renaissance, bringing the culture back, bringing the language back. The two of them probably had far more influence on my decision-making than anybody else that I can think of. Kenny was a very knowledgeable and great leader. And at the time, he was the chairman of Queen's Hospital System, Maunalani Resort, Hawaii Maritime Museum, and Bishop Museum. He was just a great leader. George Kaheleha was incredibly bright. He wrote Kukanaka, which is a book that compares the Hawaiian cultural accomplishments to other similarly situated cultures around the world. He talks a lot about Hawaiian values and the strength of the culture, and he was always so positive. His teaching us all the various values that went along with this positivity was just a wonderful mix, and something that we found to be very powerful. There were 3 speakers at the conference that spoke on behalf of the Hawaiian community: Guard Kealoha, Winona Rubin, and Kenny Brown. And they all basically said in their own way that if we don't start doing something to preserve and protect the culture of Hawaii, that we will lose the very essence of what makes this a wonderful place to live and a wonderful place to visit. So following the conference, I went to Kenny Brown and said, okay, so what can we do to do our part? And he looked at me and he said, I really don't know. Let's call George. So the two of us met with George Kaheleha and had a wide-ranging discussion about what might help preserve the culture from a hotel standpoint. And what we finally came up with was that most of our employees had gone through the educational system prior to the Hawaiian culture being reinserted as part of the important history. So we decided we had to take our employees back to school and teach them about the culture of the place they're either from or chose to move to. George also said, okay, so you want to do this for the guests too? And I said, not initially, because this has to be a program that's just focused on our employees, because we have to create the base of understanding before we move to sharing it in other ways with our visitors. We've done, over the years, more than 75 different classes on property and off property that have made the employees not only understand and feel comfortable sharing the culture. Many of the activities that we did, mostly only visitors do, like going on a catamaran, going up to Haleakala. And so it put them in a position where they're not only learning about the culture, but they're also doing a fun activity. Kukui Nut Lei has been part of our uniform since the Poʻakela program started. So when September 11th happened, we decided that we needed to do something to say thank you to our visitors on a permanent basis. We decided we need to do a departure ceremony, at which time we give them a Kukui Nut Lei, which is going to last forever. We said, hang on to this lei and bring it back with you on each subsequent visit, and we will add a white nut to your lei. And we actually have a couple of visitors who have nothing but white nuts on their lei. We quite often have people crying when they leave, and when that happens, you know that you've touched their heart. Well, we did the same thing with our employees. Everyone that has a lot of white nuts has been here a long time. It's very exciting to me to see that something that we gave birth to 35 years ago is continuing to excite people today, because it makes them all feel part of the family. And so that's been our tradition for 22 years. Well, this lei was given to me at the time when we were named the 648th Point of Light by President Bush. So I cherish this quite a bit because it's a very special lei.